We are back on Muncie's Sports Station, 102.9 FM, 1340 AM, and on Twitter, follow at MSSWXFN, and it is time now for Week 2 of the Zaleski Football Challenge. Sometimes that NFL theme music is played during bloopers. Jamie, Zaleski joins me right now.
Hi.
Would that constitute your week in Week 1? Was it kind of a blooper?
Well, I would say I got off to a slow start for sure.
A slow start?
I'm mad at one team in particular, the Indianapolis Colts.
Not
They cost me my parlay, so...
Not the Tennessee Titans. You're not mad at them?
No.
To review, for the second year in a row, you have predicted that the Tennessee Titans will win the Super Bowl.
And this year I mean it.
Well, I think you meant it last year when you predicted they would go 14-2, win the Super Bowl. They came up a little bit short of that. I believe they didn't even make the playoffs, right?
Correct. Well, if Mariota wouldn't have broke his leg, and
that was in the last week.
Made the playoffs.
Well,
second to last week.
Okay. What was their record? Were they like?
They finished 9-7, tied for first place.
Okay. So this year you're predicting all the way to the top.
Yep.
And how'd they do in their first game at home against another AFC challenger, the Oakland Raiders?
Well, they had some offensive struggles. Which is expected in Week 1 of the NFL season.
Well, yeah.
So.
Okay, well, stay with that. Don't give up on them because you never know what can happen. Oh yeah. All right, just to recap Week 1, your brother Jason took the lead. He missed his parlay. He got all 3 games wrong there, but he won 2 of 3 games, 2 of 3 of his individual games. One was a double bet on the Dallas Cowboys, so he actually came out $25 ahead. So he has the early lead. I'm in second place. I missed my parlay and 2 of my 3 individual games, so I lost $75. And you, in a very familiar position, lost all 3 of your individual bets and 2 of your 3 parlay bets. You lost $125 for the week. So you are in a very familiar third place in this race.
I think I lost 100. I didn't double down on anything.
Oh, I had you for doubling your parlay at 50.
No.
I'm going to have to check the record on that.
Check the record.
And if we need to adjust, we'll adjust.
Okay.
But my ruling is fine.
Although I would have hit that parlay if the Colts didn't single-handedly let the Rams go over.
Okay, whining won't do you any good a week later. You whine all you want. You still missed your parlay. Okay, we'll go over Jason's picks for this week. He's his individual games, and just to refresh people, we each started with a $1,000 bankroll. We can bet $25 on 3 individual games and $25 on a 3-team parlay. We can double one of those bets. And so Jason's 3 individual games, he picks the Cowboys, giving up 2.5 points at the Broncos. Very predictable pick on his part. He picks the Falcons as a 2.5-point favorite over the Green Bay Packers. Another very predictable bet for him because he's anti-Packer. He is miffed that the Dallas Cowboys have only won 2 playoff games in the last 22 years, so you can see where he's going with this. He did double that Falcons bet. And his third game, he likes the Jaguars as a 1.5-point home dog to your Tennessee Titans.
Okay, well, good thing it's play money because he wouldn't be making that bet in real life.
He wouldn't, huh?
No.
Okay. His parlay, he's taking 3 underdogs. Okay, he's kind of starting to understand what I'm telling him about underdogs. He likes the Dolphins getting 4.5 at the Chargers. He likes the Vikings getting 6.5 against the Steelers. And he likes the Browns getting 7.5 against the Ravens. So those are his 3 parlay bets. I like taking underdogs. I don't really agree with 2 of those. The Dolphins playing their first game and traveling all the way to L.A. I don't see them winning. I don't see them staying in that game. And the Vikings coming off Monday night, going to the Steelers. Sam Bradford's got an iffy ankle. I think he's making a mistake there.
Well, I checked this out, 11 of the 16 games had a spread that was 4 points or higher. And Bill Simmons calls 4.5 points the Vegas zone, and anything higher than that. So it's it's a tough week to pick favorites.
Yeah.
So I can see why he would go with the underdogs.
Okay. All right, let's go to your picks, your 3 individual games.
Yeah. So even though it was tough to pick some, like I was saying, out of these games, I went with my theme here, and I took all 3 road favorites today.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the Titans -1.5 at Jacksonville.
Very predictable.
And for the record, I'm going to double down because I believe they don't go 0-2.
Very predictable.
So Patriots, I'm going to take them -6.5 at New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Same logic. I don't think the Patriots are going to go down 0-2. And I feel like they've got something to prove now. They'll come out and they'll be ready to score some points. Okay. I don't think the Saints can stop anyone.
All right.
And my last road favorite is the Cowboys giving up 2.5 at the Denver Broncos. The Cowboys play, for the most part, mistake-free football. And while I don't think that, they're in that top tier, I think they can win by a field goal in Denver.
Okay, well, it's very dangerous to take 3 road favorites in the NFL.
Yep.
I'll say that you definitely won't get all 3 games home. And
I like to live dangerously.
I do know that. But I wouldn't even be surprised if you don't get 2 of them right. But we'll see. All right, your parlay.
All right, so I have a theme here as well. I'm going to go, last week I went with all unders, and this week I'm going to go with all overs.
Okay.
So I'm taking the Titans-Jags game to go over 43.5. Last year, the 2 times they met, they scored 55 and 58 points combined.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Bills and Panthers to go over 42.5. I think the Panthers have a pretty good offense at home, and Tyrod Taylor can do some things with the Buffalo Bills, so I expect that one to be over. And then my last over is going to be the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts. If the Rams can go over 43, then surely Arizona single-handedly can go over 44 on the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. All right, so your strategy this year on these parlays is to go with the over-unders. You did that last week.
Still feeling out the season.
Okay. So,
like I said, I didn't trust a lot of the spreads this week. There are a lot of high spreads there. So,
okay, all right. Well, we'll see how that works out. I've got my 3 individual games. I'm with you on the Patriots -6.5 on the road against the Saints. For kind of the same reason you are, I don't think the Patriots come out of the gate and lose 2 in a row. I think they'll win the game. The other thing is the Saints played on Monday night, and historically, if you look, the Monday night team a lot of times doesn't win the following Sunday. It's just hard to make that turnaround. So I go with the Pats there. And I use the same logic for my next game, the Steelers -6.5 at home against the Vikings. The Vikings coming off Monday night. Sam Bradford maybe a little bit hobbled with an ankle, going on the road. And I think the Steelers are way too strong for the Vikings. So I like that one. Both of them to win by a little more than a touchdown, the Pats and the Steelers. My third individual game is the Browns-Ravens going over 41. I think that number is a little bit too low. I know the Ravens shut out the Bengals last week, but as we've seen now, the Bengals' offense is not very good. I think the Browns are improved, and I think that game definitely goes over 41.
Okay.
So those are all 25 unit plays for me.
Now, last week, Pittsburgh Steelers took a bad beat against the Browns to lose the cover at the end of that game.
Well, there you go.
You worried about that happening with the Vikings this week?
No, not really. I don't think the Vikings and Steelers are in the same category in terms of strength. I just think the Steelers at home with their big three there, Roethlisberger, Brown, and the running back, Bell. A little too much for the Vikings defensively.
Okay.
My parlay for 25, I'm not doubling anything this week. As you noted, the week is a little tougher than normal. A lot of big numbers on the board. So I'm going with a $25 three-team parlay. I like the Cardinals as a 7.5-point road favorite over the Colts. I see the Colts just as a very troubled team right now, and the fact that you picked this game over 44 tells me that the Cardinals should be pretty safe at that number of 7.5, because I don't think the Colts are going to do a lot to drive that number up.
Well, you could spend a whole hour show just talking about all the troubles the Colts have.
Yeah, well, they've got trouble. Although they've got a new quarterback this week, so we'll see. I like the Titans as a road favorite, 1.5 over the Jaguars. I don't think they win by a bunch. I think they win by 3 or 4 points. I see it something like 24-20, somewhere in that range. And honestly, if your team, the Titans, your predicted Super Bowl champ, if they can't beat the Jags on the road, they've got no chance to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm riding your Titans. And
I like it.
My third team in my parlay is the Washington Redskins, getting 2.5 points at the LA Rams. The logic being the Rams celebrated that massive win last week over the Colts, 46-9. I think they have a natural letdown this week. I think they feel good about themselves. I think they feel like they accomplished something. In reality, all they did was beat a Colts team that is ranked as one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the league right now. And I think the Washington Redskins slide out to the West Coast and take that game.
Okay.
So that's what I like. And I don't know. It's a hard week to pick. There were a lot of big numbers out there. 2 teams were favored by 14 points, 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks over the 49ers, and somebody else was favored by 13.5. So there's some big numbers on the board this week. So we'll see. Jason's riding high right now, but if he can...
And you're staying away from the Packers this week, right?
I'm staying away from the Packers this week. 2 Super Bowl contenders going at it. There's no reason to take a dive on that game.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well,
good luck to you.
Good luck with your picks.